What is going on, FG3000? Back in the place to be, and welcome to my personal top 10 mobile games of 2022 so far. This is only going to be for games released in between January and June, kind of like a half-year check-in. Now, do keep in mind, this list is personal, subjective, biased, so if you want something a little bit more objective, check out my tier list. So without any further ado, let's get into number 10. So starting off the list at number 10 is going to be 7 Mortal Sins Ecstasy, aka Dopamine Simulator. If you're looking for a gacha game where every single day you log in, there are several free summons waiting for you, and not just like generic throwaway friendship summons, like real summons where you can get top rarity characters, 7 Mortal Sins is for you. And those characters have some of the most creative skill kits that I've ever seen in a gacha game. Now, ultimately what holds this game back is that I feel like the number values assigned to like event rewards and daily resource grinds just feel often broken. Like they don't feel anywhere near as rewarding, or like not even enough to get what you need done. You get all of these really awesome characters, you want to use them, but it just feels like the amount of resources available to you every single day is just not near enough to take advantage of all these cool characters you're getting. So I would love to see this game kind of revisit some of the number values assigned to some of the rewards. I would love to see the game get a little bit more streamlining and quality of life when it comes to the daily gameplay loop, because this game does deserve a bigger audience, but it remains to be seen if they're going to put the work in order to get that audience, right? It feels like the global launch is kind of like an autopilot where the only thing they post about is patch updates, maintenance, and coupon codes, and that's it. They don't talk about roadmaps, they don't talk about future, they don't talk about what they're seeing in the community. Like, it just feels like it's such a hands-off launch, which I don't think is good enough to survive in this new era of mobile games and live services. You gotta be live if you're gonna be servicing me, you know what I'm saying? So 7 Mortal Sins Ecstasy I still think is a fantastic game, but I think it belongs down here at number 10. So coming in at number 9 is Soul Tide. So when it comes to puzzle-based gacha games, there's not really a lot to choose from. The most prominent one I can think of is gonna be Guardian Tales, and maybe to the lesser extent, Arc Knights. So if you're looking for a gacha game that takes a little bit more than just overpowering the content, Soul Tide is absolutely for you. Not to mention, this is one of those games where you can spend a lot of time playing. The average stage in most gacha games will probably take you like, what, 45 seconds? Here in Soul Tide, the average stage takes you about 20-25 minutes. So a lot of gameplay for your stamina dollar, all wrapped up with some fantastic waifus, no husbandos, a really innovative, flexible combat system. So a really solid game with a really communicative dev team. The only thing that people usually give this game flack for is the first person perspective to the combat, but if you can get over that, Soul Tide is absolutely worth your time at number 9. So number 8 on the list is going to be Ensemble Stars. I spent so much of my time back in the days playing Beat Mania, and these games always give me like flashbacks to that time. I love these little rhythm-based tapping games. Like, I don't want to play them every day, but I do like to reach for them from time to time. So if you're that type of player that wants to kind of test their thumb dexterity, Ensemble Stars is absolutely a great choice. Incredible soundtrack, a huge variety of dance routines and costumes. Ensemble Stars is one of my favorite rhythm-based tapping games, and it absolutely deserves its spot at number 8. So coming in at number 7 is going to be Time Defender. So one of my failed FG3000 predictions was, when Arc Knights was really hot, I predicted there were going to be a lot of copycat tower defense games. There really wasn't, but we finally did eventually get a game like Time Defender. So here's the thing about this game, it's a little complicated, so I highly recommend, if you are a fan of tower defense games, pick up the game, go through all of the story, all of the chapters. You're gonna have a fantastic time, great characters, great stage design, really challenging at the later levels. But as a live service game, I really struggle to recommend it, just due to the fact that Vespa, the company behind this game, is quite struggling at the moment. They're the team behind King's Raid, the sequel to King's Raid, Time Defenders, and probably some other secret projects. They are really struggling financially right now. There's been tons of layoffs, so this game as a live service is really hard to recommend. But if you go in there and the only thing you care about is just kind of going through the story and enjoying some of the tower defense strategy that comes along with it, you'll absolutely have a fun time. Just long-term, buyer beware on this one. Now, coming in at number 6 on the back of its incredible aesthetic, character design, soundtrack, just the level of effort put into the events is going to be Dislight. Now, for me personally, the reason why this game doesn't score higher is that as I was playing this game every single day after global launch, it just kind of felt like the only thing I was doing every day was just logging in and just going directly into Ritual Miracle, trying to get the best stat relic I can possibly do. And all of the other gameplay modes, to me personally, felt like they were a nuisance. Like, oh man, I gotta knock out my point war, I gotta do my holo battle, I gotta do a few bounties, and then I can get back to relic farming. But the relic farming wasn't really fun, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So Dislight is going to be one of those games that I really want to revisit 6 months to a year from now. I do feel like this game is going to continue to add more and more compelling content to match the level of art in this game. Now, I know I said that with Exo's Heroes, but I think I'm going to be right this time. Only thing that Dislight needs is just a little bit more content to kind of flesh out the gameplay loop, and I think this game will absolutely be one that stands the test of time. So for me, Dislight is number 6. So coming in at number 5 is going to be Apex Legends Mobile. You really couldn't ask for a better version of Apex Legend on your phone than this. Right now, they are stunting on all the other PC and console developers out there that are thinking about porting their franchise to the mobile, showing you that you can actually bring your top tier franchise to mobile without all the scummery, right? So I really hope that this becomes the bar for a lot of mobile games coming forward, like The Division, Rainbow Six Siege, Path of Exile, etc. Like all of these PC franchise making their way to mobile. I hope they use Apex Legends Mobile as kind of like a blueprint to show you don't have to add all of that mobile gaming scummery, baby, right? Games like this work on the mobile platform, so shout out to Apex Legends Mobile at number 5. Now, sneaky at number 4 is going to be Dynasty Legends 2, and it's actually a shame that this game is not going to get the attention it deserves, because when you look at videos and you look at screenshots, it looks like your quintessential autoplay MMO, but it's definitely more than that. Yeah, you can auto navigate in between NPCs, but once you're in combat, dude, the gamer mode has to turn in. Some incredible boss fights, Dynasty Warriors combat, where you're just kind of plowing through hundreds of enemies. You got guilds, you got live PvP, dungeons, co-op dungeons, raids, all kinds of stuff. This is a well-made game and probably one of the best romancing Dynasty 3 Kingdom style game on the mobile platform. So if you love this universe, or even if you're looking for an MMO with a slight little twisty twist, definitely give Dynasty Legends 2 a chance. Now, I already know some people gonna feel some type of way about my number 3, which is Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds. Now, I can only offer my personal opinion and my experience on the game. I ended up getting like right around level 56 or 57, and the entire time I was playing this game, the only time I felt pressured by the Netmarble scumminess was with backspace. Like, backspace was extremely annoying, like, truth be told, but they eventually added a 99-cent package that added 100 backslots, and from that moment on, I was chilling. Now, do keep in mind that the way that I was playing this game is as a person that got burned real hard spending money in 7 Deadly Sins. So my mentality playing Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds is I didn't even care what my combat power said. Didn't care at all. All I cared about was the Studio Ghibli universe, the incredible graphics, the aesthetic, the dungeons, the massive boss fights, and just trying to look cute, man. Every time I got currency, I spent it on the costume shop. I didn't get weapons, I didn't try to get familiars, I wasn't trying to top the leaderboard. The only thing I cared about was the world and trying to get those yoga pants out of the gacha, but I never did. So Ni no Kuni is another example of a game that I really want to revisit 6 months to a year down the line. If you've ever played any other Netmarble game, they are at their max scumminess at global launch. Like that's like the worst time to play and spend money in a Netmarble game, but come back later down the line and the games are a lot more enjoyable. So I still do recommend Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds. Once again, I know a lot of people do not like this game for reasons that are connected to crypto and whatnot, but like I said, my personal experience is that I couldn't even tell you which menu that crypto or NFTs, or I couldn't even tell you where that is in the game. I was too busy enjoying the world, playing with some of my in real life friends, doing kingdom dungeons, tackling world bosses, like, you know, enjoying an MMO. So when it comes to mobile gaming MMOs, Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds absolutely is at the top of that list, and on this list is number 3. So when I reveal number 2, it's gonna instantly reveal number 1, right? Because there's only so many games that came out this year, and you guys know which games I play, you guys know which games I main. So for me, number 2 is Counterside? I think it's Counterside. Now here's the deal. I didn't want to be lame and just have it a tie, but in my heart of hearts, I really couldn't tell you which game I like more, right? I couldn't. If you ask me today, I say Counterside's number 2. Maybe next Thursday, I might say Artery Gear Fusion's number 2. I couldn't tell you. But for right now, today, Counterside is my number 2 and Artery Gear Fusion is my number 1. And the reason why it's so hard for me to decide which one I like better is because they do such good jobs at ticking my FG boxes, right? You guys know, right? I like my futuristic mixed with some fantasy. I need to have guns and lasers, but I also need to have like healing potions, swords, and shields, right? I need to have both of those. I need to have streamlining. I need to have quality of life. I need to have hot waifus. I need to have cool skins. And like both of these games do exactly that. So it's just like, I couldn't for the life of me tell you which one I like better. I'm currently playing both. I'm looking forward to playing these games even more in the future. Both of these games have some pretty communicative dev teams that have both released roadmaps, which I love. I love it when a game releases a roadmap, and both of these games have done that. They're both great, right? Now, one thing I definitely want to clarify, when it comes to top 10 lists, people think the numbers are closer than they are. So yeah, Ni no Kuni was number 3, but there is a massive Grand Canyon in between number 3 and number 2 for me, right? So Counterside is way ahead of Ni no Kuni for me, but what can I do? I got to give it a number, so it's number 3, right? What else can I say? So Counterside number 2, Artery Gear number 1. You can't go wrong with either game, and I think even though this list is really biased and really subjective, I think even objectively, it's clear that Counterside and Artery Gear Fusion are the best 2 mobile games released this year, and maybe depending on who you are, Apex Legends can also be in that conversation, but I just think they're the best games. So those are my number 1 and number 2. I know it's kind of wishy-washy, but at least I didn't say it was a tie, even though indirectly I kind of said it was a tie, but don't you worry about that. As long as I didn't use the word tie, it's okay. So that is gonna do it. That is my personal top 10 mobile games of 2022 so far, and I'll see you guys again at the latter half of the year once all the games of 2022 have been released and we can do yet another top 10. So my name is FG3000, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.